Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Pokemon trainers, and Poke fans everywhere. This is your favorite Pokemon professor here today with a special video for you guys. We're going to be taking a look at some of the brand new cards that are going to be released in our big expansion for this year, Cosmic Eclipse. So we are on PokeBeach.com. We're taking a look at all these cards that they have for us here. I really like them because we can zoom in, take a look at each individual card. So we will focus on the ones right here in front of us. I know there's one more. Oh man, I completely just blanked on the booster pack that's coming out, or like a booster set that's coming out soon, and it's like gonna be added into the Cosmic Eclipse, basically. So whatever cards are in that will also be in this like higher, overarching category. So yeah, all those cards will be in Cosmic Eclipse. So we'll get to play some of them soon, and then we'll get to play the rest of them on November 1st. So we'll have to. So the pre-releases are from October 19th through 27th. So you can find some of the cards there. I think the red and blue tag team are in there. The Cynthia Caitlyn is also in there. I'm pretty sure the tag team legendaries Arceus Dialga Palkia is also in there, if I'm not wrong. So I think we get a few of those, like a taste of what we're about to see here. And then we have the Cosmic Eclipse, the overall package coming to us with all new tag team Pokemon, all new tag team trainer cards. Newer support items to benefit tag team support trainer cards, newer items for Ultra Beasts, like it's crazy. And I think Great Catcher is one of the new items, which is like another gusting option, apart from Custom Catcher, because we all know how annoying it is to get 2 Custom Catchers into our hand, right? So this is really cool. Like I really like some of the artwork they've done for these cards, especially. Like I think it's just really brilliant. This is so cute. Like the basic Pokemon having this artwork is just really nice. I know it's like a full art, but still pretty darn cool. So yeah, so let's get into this here. As I said, Cosmic Eclipse will release on November 1st, so we're gonna have to wait before we get our hands on these goody cards and start playing them. But let's take a look. Let's just go in order here. I wanted to start with this one because I think this is gonna be really fun in fairy decks, and I like fairy decks. So but we will go in order here. Venusaur and Snivy, GX, HP 270, basic tag team Pokemon. The ability Shining Vine, which is I think what makes this Pokemon shine. We'll get to that in a second. Forest Dump, okay. He takes a dump in the forest apparently, or he dumps the forest onto you, something like that. But it's a very funny name for an attack. But Forest Dump for 1 grass energy and 3 standard, you do 160 damage. Alright, and I can already see triple acceleration being played onto this guy for the retreat, for playing Forest Dump and just 1 smack attack for 160. And also for the Solar Plant GX, because for 3 basic energies, this attack does 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached to it, heal all damage from all your Pokemon. So it's like a slightly underpowered, in terms of damage, like Mew's GX attack, where it heals everything. We don't have damage here, but we do 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So that I think that's benched, active, everything. So that's really nice. So it's like some splash damage, kind of like a Wailord. And if you have extra energy, you also get the heal. So you only get it once, but like still doing 200 overall splash onto a whole team is definitely worth it. If you can get it off with 1 triple acceleration, it may be worth it even more, because then you can just switch retreat and then keep attacking with whoever your primary or secondary attacker is. But okay, let's get into the ability here. Shining Vine. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, when you attach a grass energy card from your hand to it, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Oh yeah, Gusting Venusaur, right? That lets you gust on energy attached, so you're getting the energy attached and gust for free. You don't even have to discard an energy. That's nutty. That is absolutely nutty, but you have to attach grass energies to it. So the triple acceleration isn't going to come into play here, but if you're going to be playing this in a grass deck, you're going to have the grass energies. this has to be your active Pokemon when you're doing this. So if you can get them into your active, you can play a Grass Energy. You can Gust to catch off like a low HP tag team or something that you've already damaged, and then Forest Dump him, smack, there goes a 160, boom. Or you can catch something that's low, do the Solar Plant GX, go that route. But you can Gust and switch. If he's just your active, because it's just an ability, you can Gust and then you switch and attack with someone else. Like, you have so many options, and I think this is a really great card. I think it's definitely going to see some play in the tag team meta, especially because Celebi Venusaur has fallen like behind so much. Like, Executor takes prominence in the grass techs. By the way, we have that coming out for you, the Executor GX grass tech. It's going to be really fun, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, this I think is a really good card. 270 HP is good. I wish it were 280 to represent like the tankiness in Venusaur over the other two starters. I think Blastoise is a little tanky too, but Venusaur is the OG tank, right? He's out there, he's big, he's brawny, he's like a walking tree. So, but I think they decided to just go with 270 for a lot of these three starters, and then we have the Solgaleo Lunala combo as well as Reshiram Zekrom. So I think 270 is just like a target base station. We were talking about that magic number in our Dragonite video too, where like 270, if you can do that damage, you're gonna KO a lot of Pokemon out there, even like big tag teams. So yeah, let's get into Charizard and Braixen GX. I really like the art on this. Oh my god, this is gorgeous. The flamethrower coming out, the Braixen's torch holding up the flame. It's really good. I love it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. But here we go. 270 HP basic tag team. Brilliant Flare for 3 fire and 1 standard. We do 180 damage. You search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So this is basically a Steven's Resolve added into 180 damage attack. And with Welder, you're going to be able to use this turn 2. Turn 2, ladies and gentlemen. That's horrible. That's terrible for your opponent. Like, you could get this guy out, you could get a Reshazard down, and then you could Welder onto him turn 2 and still be able to use this attack. How gross is that? Like, this is going to be primo out there in fire decks for the setup. I'm definitely seeing like 1 or 2 of these guys being run in there. And then also Crimson Flame Pillar GX, okay? I don't see this being like a commonly used, or this is not what you're going to be playing this guy for. It's the Brilliant Flare without a doubt. 180 is not too shabby. It's a little expensive on like the energy costs, but then the effect is insane. 3 cards into your hand, any of them. It's not even like trainers, it's not energies, it's not Pokemon, it's any 3 cards. I could like turn the game around for you. That could be Custom Catcher, Great Potion, that could be Custom Catcher Switch, that could be trainer cards, that could be some of these new tag team supporters. Like, do you guys see how this is going to blow the game out of proportion? This is one of those scary things, right? When your opponent does this attack, you don't even know like what cards he's gonna go for, right? You don't know what you're gonna have to look at. I mean, he's gonna show you, but then you don't know what in combination he's planning to use that with. Especially when Cosmic Eclipse comes out, we're gonna have a whole lot of new cards, really strong cards in play, and with all the new variations, with all the new inclusions to power up tag teams, tag team supporters, I think Brilliant Flare is gonna be absolutely brilliant. Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah, but that's a really good card. So, let me just finish up Crimson Flare here. So, attach 5 basic energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. Pretty good. You can use it in like a clutch situation where you need to get 5 onto your Reshazard and then get your energy attached. That's 6. So that's a Full Blaze GX. That's a Flare Strike or whatever else you want to do with that OP powered up Charizard. So it could be used in like a niche situation. Oh well, you can't use Full Blaze anymore. Sorry, my bad. I'm messing up, because if you use Crimson Flame Pillar to set up, then you're still definitely gonna have the Flare Strike immediately for 230 damage. If you double switch, you can get it 2 turns in a row for 460. Big numbers, and I can definitely see this card making a lot of plays. 3 retreat costs. I think now it's pretty standard for like the big tag teams. So they can't really make use of buff padding or any other really good item for them, and the retreat becomes hard too, because the skateboard would still make you discard 2, and it kind of becomes non-functional. But anyway, moving on, our third, I like this art too. I think Blastoise is looking a little chubby here. I think he needs to go on a diet. But apart from that, Blastoise and Piplup, a GX, Water-type basic tag team, 270 HP. Splash Maker, for 2 water energies and 1 standard, 150 damage, you may attach up to 3 water energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. If you do, heal 50 damage from those Pokemon for each card you attach to them in this way. That is psychotic. That is psychotic. That's basically, like, just looking at these cards, right, I'm thinking of like supporter cards that basically have these abilities and they're being merged into these tag team Pokemon. So what that does is that removes those supporter cards from play. 1, it gives you an extra option for another more useful supporter card for that turn. 2, it lets you get the effect of the support cards with attacks that do great damage, like 150, 180, 160. These are not bad damage numbers. Although Forest Dump does cost a little bit more, Brilliant Flame costs more because of the superb effect. Forest Dump doesn't have any effect, so I feel like it's the most lackluster out of the Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise combos here, and the Piplup, Snivy, Braixen. But still, like looking at these numbers, 150, 180 on the Charizard, that's really, really good, right? Splashmaker does 150, you attach 3 energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon, so as long as you can draw energies, you know, play Stevens or play any other card that's a Viridian lets you draw energies, you can draw 1 energy from your hand. You can use items like Energy Spinner, you can use items that let you swap cards. There's so many options to get those into your hand, right? There is also like the Blastoise, I think, lets you shuffle energy. Blastoise GX lets you shuffle water energies back into your deck on attack. And then there's a Blastoise regular, which has like where you shake and splash, like we used them in one of our Wailord decks, and you attach energies by like shaking out your energies from the deck. So multiple ways, like there's a lot of options being put in now, and I like that, but I really still wish they would add some other supporter card that would at least try to give Welder some competition that's not based for fire Pokemon. I think that would really, really put the game into some sort of equivalency. It doesn't even have to be like 2 energies, because I understand why they did it for fire Pokemon, because fire Pokemon end up discarding energies on attack a lot. Like there's a lot of different fire Pokemon that require the use of energy discard, so having extra energies makes sense. It's overpowered on things like Reshizard, obviously, but still, looking at it, even if we could get something like, okay, attach 1 energy, draw 1 card, attach any basic energy, draw 1 card, or something just very simple, very elegant to help other Pokemon energy accelerate here, because we have to think, for any deck that's not a fire deck right now, we have to think of options for energy acceleration. For any deck that's not Psychic or doesn't run GX Pokemon, we have to think of ways to grab our Pokemon. So if they introduce something a little bit to balance out those elements, it'd be great. But all we can do is hope, let's hope the brilliant minds at the Pokemon Company have got that in the plans. Okay, so we discussed Flashmaker. Let's look at Bubble Launcher GX. So for the same cost, you do 100 plus, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed, that's good. If this Pokemon has at least 3 extra water energy, this attack does 150 more. So it's kind of like a slightly more expensive water variant of Raichu, Alolan Raichu's powered up GX attack. Okay, hope you guys got all that. But yeah, 250 damage, paralysis, like the whole thing, right? Tandem Shock is a paralysis, so it's kind of throwing that into here. And then yeah, 6 water energies will let you do 150 more damage. Pretty expensive. Again, like the similar to the Charizard Braixen, I feel like this is going to be used primarily for Splashmaker, Bubble Launcher in certain situations where you have all those energies. Water decks do not have the greatest water acceleration, energy acceleration, unless you're running the Quag. So even with the Quag, right, getting the Quag on board, getting energies in play is going to require some other things. So yeah. Those are our 3 beautiful starter sets with multiple generation starters in there. Pretty cool. Let's move on to Solgaleo and Lunala. So pretty cool Pokemon here. I like the art. I love how they like she's riding on the Solgaleo and the Lunala's flying right next to him. Really cool art. I like it. Let's take a look at this Pokemon. I think it has the highest base attack damage out of all the Pokemon we've seen so far. Cosmic Burn for 3 Psychic and a Standard, also 270 HP by the way. 3 Psychic and a Standard does 230 damage, and you can't use it during your next turn. So it's quite similar to a Reshizard, right? Where you Flare Strike for 230 and you can't use it next turn. Yeah, and then yeah, or does it do 60 damage on the next turn? Yeah, 60 damage on the next turn, my bad. So, Cosmic Burn, 230. This Pokemon can't use Cosmic Burn during your next turn, so yeah, that's done. Light of Protector GX, for 2 Psychic and 1 Standard, so less than the Cosmic Burn cost. So this is kind of annoying, because you have Welder for Fire decks to get those 4 energies on there, whereas we don't have Welder for Psychic decks, so you'd have to run this with a Malamar, which is doable, so I can imagine this being run just off the Cosmic Burn without even looking at Light of Protector. I can just imagine this being like 2 Solgaleo Lunala. Sorry, I was collecting my thoughts there. 2 Solgaleo Lunala GXs on the bench, triple Malamar setup, and or double Malamar setup even, and then you go from there either with like Bench Mew or Giratina or however you want to do that. But then you could 2 retreat cost isn't bad, so if you have either Escape Board or U-Turn Board, the retreat cost becomes 1. You can swap and then reattach with your Malamar. Even if it's 2, you could swap and still reattach with your Malamar by playing double or triple Malamar on bench. So I definitely see this being played, right, with that combo. I just gave you guys a Cosmic Eclipse deck list even before it's out. So Malamar, Solgaleo, Lunala, I definitely see it being a thing. 230 is huge, and when you can retreat for free and attack with multiple 230 damages consecutively, that's going to hurt your opponent. I don't care if he's running a Reshizard, I don't care if he's running something else, it is going to suck. And even if he double tackles out your Solgaleo without Rage Reshizard, that's fine. Even with 230, I think he's going to be 10 damage short unless he shrined himself or something. So, yeah, a lot of options there. And then let's look at Light of Protector. 200 damage, and if you played Lily's Full Force, so there's going to be a Lily card, obviously with her writing on the back of this, that's going to be really useful to Psychic decks, it looks like. So, if you played Lily's Full Force from your hand, I don't know if it's out yet. If it is, I will try to find it and attach it at the end of this video. Pardon my ignorance on that one if I haven't seen it. But if you played that card from your hand during this turn, you prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to each of your Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. So he can't gust you, he can't do anything, and you don't even need to have extra energies to use this, and it does 200 damage outright. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, you just need to have that Lily's Full Force. And provided we have that card, I don't know what it does yet. If we can, I'm going to take a look, and if we can find it, understand what it does. Potentially, you'd be running 4 of them in your deck, and that's like, or even 3, and that's the one chance to play it. And then use Light of Protector, and then you're basically secure. Your opponent can't do anything to any of your Pokemon during the next turn, so you're good. That's basically like a safe turn. That's game changing. That is game changing. Like, serious comboing going on with these new cards. I like it if they're making tag teams a little more versatile and just not powerhouses. They're turning them into tactical players, although looking at the damage on this looks like a beast of a Pokemon. No joke. This looks like the Psychic Reshizard to me. And I definitely think it's going to see a lot of play with the Malamar combo. Or something more creative in Cosmic Eclipse that lets you play that card. Moving on. Arceus Dialga Palkia. Our second, if I'm not wrong, because these boys haven't been released yet, and these are going to come out next. So our second trio tag team legendary set of Pokemon here. 280 HP, 10 more than the standard 270. Dragon-type Pokemon that runs water and steel energies. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know how many water steel decks there are out there right now, but this is going to definitely make some happen. Alright, let's take a look at this. This isn't a steel Pokemon, so you can't use it in conjunction with like Lucario Melmetal. That would have been great. Like 30%, 30 reduced damage onto like a beefy tag team is insane, obviously. But anyway, Ultimate Ray. For 1 water, 1 steel, and 1 standard energy, it does 150 damage, and you search your deck for 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. Doesn't this remind you of Pikarom with full Blitz? You attach lightning energies with Pikarom, but you attach whatever energies you want with Ultimate Ray, and that will probably end up being either the water or the steel energies, but the difference is you're going to have to run the weird energies here, water, steel, and 1 more standard, either one of those or something else, in order to get this guy going with his Ultimate Ray. But once you do, I see at least 2 free turns of energy acceleration with 150 damage come into play. That's 300 damage between 2 turns, 6 basic energies come into play, and that is enough to knock out every single tag team in the game so far. So Definitely a good attack. Definitely nice to see some acceleration come in the form of an attack through things like this for like water or steel decks. Although steel decks do have a decent amount of acceleration with cards like Solgaleo, if I'm not wrong on that. So, but yeah, you could also use it for water decks if you just run the offhand of steel energies to run just one of these guys. So maybe he'll be played with this. Maybe these two guys will make a team, and then they'll just accelerate for days, right? You never know. Like, you could run 4 steel energies, 7 or 8 water, and then like maybe even 9 water to run the 13 combo, and then just go from there. There's some ideas for you guys, but let's look at the GX attack here. Altered Creation GX. For 1 steel, for the rest of the game, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is like the reverse Lucario Melmetal. That's why I said that to begin with. This is the reverse. So you're doing 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra water energy to it. So basically the 1 less than the cost of Ultimate Ray. When your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from those attacks, take 1 more prize card. That's broken. That is broken. Do you even see this? Do you even see this? I'm gonna make a deck right away as soon as this comes out, and I'm gonna show you how exactly broken this can be. This is nutty, guys. If you have at least 1 extra, that's for 1 steel, 1 water, and how easy is that gonna be with cards like Energy Spinner, with cards like Rainbow Brush? Like, we can do it. We can do it, right? So for a steel and a water, when your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from those attacks, you take 1 more prize card for the whole game. For the whole game. That means if you knock out your opponent's Pokemon after using Altered Creation, you're gonna take an extra prize card every game. That's like Greedy Crush's Sabletar's Greedy Crush's passive effect being thrown in for you for the entire game for every one of your Pokemon. Do you guys see how broken that is? Do you see how nuts this card is gonna be? These are game-changing cards, ladies and gentlemen. The meta is gonna shift once Cosmic Eclipse is released. Like, just thinking of the possibilities is gonna drive me, like, 2020 Worlds is just gonna be off the hook. People are gonna figure out ingenious strategies with cards like this. Oh my god, I can just think of Pokemon adding more damage multipliers. Like, you could run 1 of this guy, run basic, you know, not even like tag team or GX cards, just like basic Pokemon, stage 1, stage 2s, and basics, non-GX Pokemon, and you could power them up with attack boosters, things like Karate Belts and things, and if you have this attack in play, you're going to be knocking out GX Pokemon, and if it's a GX, you're going to be grabbing 3 prizes. If it's a tag team GX, you're going to be grabbing... Let me read this again. I just want to make... Because the first time I read it, this is what I understood from it. I want to read it I read it a second time now. I'm going to read it a 3rd time just to make sure. For the rest of this game, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, that's all your Pokemon, right? It didn't say this Pokemon, it said your Pokemon. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra water energy attached to it, when your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from those attacks, referring to the attacks from your Pokemon's attacks from the first line, your opponent is knocked out by you take 1 more prize card. Yeah, so we understood that correctly. Game-breaking trio here. I like this a lot more than I like Trio Birds. I'm sorry, this just has way more functionality. This is Pikarom mixed with Reverse Melmetal, mixed with I'm gonna knock out everything with Sabletar, but putting Sabletar's effect on any Pokemon. Like, oh my god. Running 3 counts of this guy and then running maybe basic water or basic steel Pokemon to get a functional deck would be monstrous. Like, just, oh lord. Just monstrous. I can just see the possibilities. Moving on, I'm gonna stall my amazement for a little bit so we can look at the next card here. Reshiram Zekrom GX. Really cool card. It looks like N is over here on top of these guys. 270 HP. Sorry, I was getting a drink there. 270 HP. Fabled Firebolts for 1 fire, 1 lightning. Discard up to 3 in any combination of basic fire and basic lightning from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage for each card you discarded this way. Remind you of someone? Yeah, maybe good old Blacephalon GX over there? Yeah, so this is going to be Dragon variant of Blacephalon GX. Like, all these cards are connected, guys. You can see them. You can see the supporter effects coming in. You can see the similar effects. They're trying to spread these out to different typings so the gameplay becomes more versatile, and that's really good. Like, I can appreciate the effort there. The artworks for these are really, really beautiful. I know they did a bad job on, like, the Guzma Hala tag team card. It's like a basic copy paste, and I think some of these other tag team cards are a little disappointing too. The trainer cards, I mean, but the Pokemon, they do not disappoint. These are gorgeous. Definitely love Zekrom, Reshiram here. It really looks cool. Okay, so yeah, you can strategies for this. I can already think of Naga Nadal, right? You grab discarded energies with your Naga, get 3 Naga on the bench, and if you discard 3, it does 90 times 3, 270 damage, knock out a tag team. Pretty broken. The only thing that's gonna stall this is maybe the change of fire to lightning, but I can already see Welder Rainbow Brush doing the job. Like Energy Spinner Welder Rainbow Brush, Welder Fire Flint Rainbow Brush. Like it's doable. I can see Welder Volkner combos in this deck to grab the items you need. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, another deck made for you even before the pack release. Like, there's just so many ways to play this already. And 90 damage is really good. Like, 3 Nagas, set up even 2 Nagas, grabbing multiple cards per turn on the bench. And you can discard fire or lightning, so there's no barrier there. Really cool card with the fairy weakness. I like everything with the fairy weakness, because fairy decks are binary, usually only running the fairy type, and there's like, you have to get matched into basically a fairy deck to get messed up. Otherwise, like, the elemental weaknesses, like basic elemental, like fire into water, water into grass, there's multiple chances for you to be running into those Pokemon in those decks, and then you face a lot of trouble. There's no like basic one-off fairy Pokemon that are usually played into other type standard decks. Hopefully that made sense for you guys. Anyway, that's my analysis of that. Crossbreak GX for 2 fire, 2 lightning. Oh god, I see the Welder. I already see the Welder coming into play here. I see the Volkners, I see the Rainbow Brushes. Anyway, this attack does 170 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Okay, it has no basic damage coming out. It does 170, so you can get past things like Keldeo, but it has to go to the bench, okay? So if you played End's Resolve, because End is sitting on top of them, if you played End's Resolve from your hand during this turn, this attack does 170 damage to one of your opponent's other bench Pokemon. So it's 2 bench shots. 2 170s, so that's total damage of 340 for 2 fire and 2 lightning. I like that. It's just base, raw damage, powerhousing through, can really mess up your opponent's game plan when you 2-shot like 2 of the Pokemon. Like, not 2-shot, I mean like 170 on each Pokemon is pretty nutty. Like, if they have not tag teams, they're gone for sure. Like, 170 is going to kill any almost not tag team. There are some GXs, like tanky GXs, like, but they're going to be stage 2s like Dragonite and things. And if they're running those in the deck, it's going to be really hard to heal them. So yeah, you could really make your opponent's day bad with that GX attack. One more look at this card, brilliantly made. I really like the artwork. I'm enjoying the fact that they're throwing trainers into there. That's pretty cool. I like the reference to the anime, the lore of Pokemon, and things like that. Okay, Naga Nadal and Guzzlord GX. Another Ultra Beast combo card here. I can remember Buzzwole and Pheromosa for the other one. I think, is that the only other Ultra Beast? It might be the only. If I'm wrong, throw that in the comments there. But pretty sure this is our second, or if I'm wrong, it might be our third. But I don't remember a lot of those guys. So Pheromosa and Buzzwole is the only one that like pops into my head right away when I think of Ultra Beast tag teams. But Naga Nadal and Guzzlord GX, here they are with 280 HP. This is our 3rd dragon here already. 1, 2, 3. So we're already looking at 3 powerful dragon Pokemon. I don't think they can be played in conjunction with each other just because of all like the different energies that they cost. So you're probably not going to be running in the same deck, but you can play different decks. You have Dark and Psychic here, so I see this being run into maybe a Dark deck or a Psychic deck. Let's look at this card. Violent Appetite. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard a Pokemon from your hand. If you do, heal 60 damage from this Pokemon. Okay, it's a little targeted. You can discard any Pokemon, but you can heal 60 damage from Pokemon, and you can only do it once, not as many times as you want, so you can't do multiple discards per turn to stack it, but you can do it once consecutively, like in turn. So 60, 120, 180 per turn, so on and so forth. So yeah, you'd be healing 60 damage per turn from this Pokemon. Jet Pierce for 1 Psychic, 1 Dark, 1 Standard does 180. Not too hot about the mixed energy costs and only being able to do 180 and no effect. If it were like 2 dark and a standard, I would have been a little happier, or 2 psychic and a standard, I would have been a little happier, but that mixed energy cost is just a little off-putting, but that's okay. Let's look at the GX attack. I think this is going to be interesting. For just 1 standard energy, turn all your prize cards face up. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra psychic energy and 1 extra dark energy attached to it, so the cost of Jet Pierce basically, take 2 prize cards. So you just take 2 prize cards. Like, you don't even have to knock anything out. You just grab them. So it's as good as knocking out a GX Pokemon. I guess it could be really useful in like a game where you already have 4 prize cards drawn and you don't need another GX attack, and you just play Chaotic Order and boom, smack, you draw 2 prize cards. Your opponent has to just cry because you can't stop that from happening, right? If the attack is just draw 2 prize cards, that's it. Just take them. Take them off, that's it. You're not doing anything else. So, little nutty there on that, but we'll have to see. But yeah, since Jet Pierce is not that impressive, to me personally, but yeah, the Chaotic Order and the Violent Appetite will keep this card viable. It can self-sustain, and it can eventually pop open that nasty GX attack to just draw 2 free prize cards. Okay, this card is super cute. Oh my god, how could you not like this card? Like, the background is well done, the cards are the Pokemon are well done, the graphics are just so cute, the expressions on their face are so cute, and I just want to cuddle with all 3 of these Pokemon. That being said, Togepi, Cleffa, and Igglybuff GX, 240, which is a little low, I feel like, for our tag team trios, because we've seen 200, 280, and 200, 280, and now we're seeing this. This is going to be our 3rd tag team trio Pokemon, going to be released after our Arceus, Dialga, Palkia GX. So, sorry, these names can be hard to remember sometimes. There's so many of them now. Anyway, 240 HP Fairy type. For 2 Fairy Energies and a Standard, you do Rolling Panic for 120 damage. Flip a coin until you get Tails. This attack does 30 more damage for each Heads. That could be monstrous. That could be, there's no stopping until you get Tails. So that could just go on 120, start with 1 Heads to 150, 180, 210, 240. And if you get to 5 Heads, that's 270. If you get to 6 Heads, that's 300. But even if in 2 turns, you're still doing a base of 240 plus whatever number of Heads you get, which is still really, really strong, right? That's enough to talk out a Pikarom. If you get at least 1 more Heads, that's going to take out more tag team Pokemon in 2 turns. And if you get at least 2 more Heads, that's definitely going to take out a tag team Pokemon. So in 2 turns. So that's crazy. That's it's a coin flip attack, so it is conditional on those coin flips, but still a good amount of damage. But the more interesting attack here is going to be the Supreme Puff GX. I feel like this one here is going to be game changing, especially for Fairy decks. I don't think you can run this as a one-off, because it basically runs off of Fairy Energies, and a lot of Fairy Energies, if I may add. So basically, Supreme Puff GX, for 2 Fairy Energies, take another turn after this one, okay? You skip the between turn step and you just take another turn. What does that mean? That means you get another draw, you get another supporter play, you get another retreat, you get 1 more hand energy attach. That's all those things. And you get another attack. So you can basically attack with Supreme Puff, and then you can follow up with Rolling Panic because you get another attack, and your opponent just has to sit there and watch you take 2 turns in a row. That has to be broken. That just sounds broken to me. It looks overpowered. I'm sure that somebody's gonna find a way to make this super duper annoying and extremely viable in play. You can only do it once since it is the GX attack, but that's super cool. But the added effect of this card, okay? I don't know if anybody's actually ever going to be able to pull this off in-game, but if you can, if this Pokemon has at least 14 extra Fairy Energy attached to it, in addition to this attack's cost, that's 16 Fairy Energies total. Your opponent shuffles all their bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into their deck. Yeah, basically, you get an extra turn And on top of that, your opponent shuffles all of their bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into your deck. You're basically saying GG if you have 16 energies on this card. Like, I don't see any opponent, unless they have an incredibly good hand, or they get a Cynthia and they draw into an extremely good hand, to be able to recover from an attack like that. But the question is, how are you going to get 16 energies onto this Pokemon and still have other Pokemon viable for play while you do that? Like, 30 energy deck, I don't know, 20 energy deck, I don't know. But yeah. Or maybe something that doesn't need energies to attack, or only requires 1 energy to attack while you set this card up, or multiple tag switches. I don't know, like, it's nuts. I can think of this going in conjecture with, I'm gonna say right now, one more deck list for you guys before the pack even. I'm on a roll here, right? These ideas are just popping into my head. Here it is. Gardevoir Sylveon GX. With Magical Miracle, you can shuffle energies around. So potentially you could play Gardevoir Sylveon, play 2 counts of Togepi, Cleffa, and then you can get those set up and eventually shuffle those energies onto Supreme Puff for like a game-ending turn. But that's one way I see it played. Hat Ladies maybe is another way, but even just 16 energies is a tremendous energy cost, and that's gonna be all the energies in your deck. So like, most decks run what, 11, 13 is like a standard energy cost. 16 in those, 16 or 17 in those decks which are extremely energy intensive, but not more than that, right? I've run 18 energies on some decks, but that's about the most I can think. Maybe 20 in an off case, but even then, right? So getting 16 energies onto one singular Pokemon is insane. I think that's the highest basic energy cost we've seen for any Pokemon. This is psychotic. I think this is going to be really cool. It does have a steel weakness and a dark resistance to retreat cost. I just see a lot of things being played from that. Megalop Bunny and Jigglypuff, not super impressed with the art on this one. I don't know, just me personally. 240 HP, basic tag team. Jumping Balloon does 60 plus 60 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX in play. So it's really reliant on whether you're playing into a GX deck or not. So if you're not playing into a GX deck and you have this Pokemon, it's not going to be that useful. Like 60 damage on a tag team is just lackluster, and it's when it's conditional, especially if you're playing like online, and if you play like a world championship or thing, you're going to be running into multiple decks, and you can't just have an attack that sheerly relies on your opponent having multiple GX Pokemon in play, which is super disappointing for me. So this card is just not doing it for me so far. Puffy Smashers GX, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. If this Pokemon has at least 4 extra energy attached to it, this attack does 200 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Again, like, I don't know if I want to invest 5 energies onto this Pokemon, and the active asleep is sucky for a GX attack. Not convinced. Like, looking at all the other Pokemon we've seen in this release so far, this looks like the most lackluster one so far. Let's move on to the really, really interesting cards here, the tag team supporters. Cynthia and Caitlyn, again, honestly, I am not super impressed by these tag team supporter cards. It looks like they have just copy-pasted the same artwork from the basic cards and just threw in a background here. So unfortunately, that is a little sad, especially with like all the brilliant art we have for these Pokemon cards, like even for this, the Wishy-Washy. I don't even know who's going to play Wishy-Washy, but it's there. But yeah, like, come on Pokemon, you can do better than this. You've given us all this brilliant art in all these years, and then for the tag team, first time you release tag team supporters, this lackluster, choppy, cut-paste Photoshop work. Anyway, disappointments aside, what these cards do is pretty cool. Put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. You can't choose a Cynthia and Caitlyn, or a card you discarded with the effect of this card. When you play this card, you may discard another card from your hand, and if you do, draw 3 cards. So it's like a mini Cynthia and a Caitlyn mixed in together to play that. Definitely, I feel like this is gonna give you a lot of play. Definitely a great setup card. Great draw engine. I can see 4 of these just being played inside tag team decks. Why not, right? When you're getting 2 for the effect of 1, why the heck not? Okay, well, what's really cool is these guys right here. Red and Blue the OG trainers, the first champions, search your deck for a Pokemon GX that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it on that Pokemon to evolve it. So all those Stage 1 GXs, your days of glory have arrived. So you can search your deck. You don't even need Cherish Ball anymore. You can just pop, search your deck, Stage 1 evolve, boom, bada bang, bada bing. Then, shuffle your deck. When you play this card, you may discard 2 other energy cards from your hand, and if you do, you search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon you evolve this way. So, this is the card we may have been waiting for. For Stage 1, or even Stage 2 potentially, because you can evolve to Stage 1 and then get your Stage 2 card out with Cherish Ball. But yeah, this is the card we've been waiting for. Energy Exploration for Pokemon that are not Fire type. Super awesome. You can get an awesome setup just by popping this card, getting your basic evolved, getting energy cards onto it, and if your basic Stage 1 is your attacker, then you're already done. If it's a Stage 2, one more turn to slap your Stage 2 on there, get an extra energy on there. But yeah, this is going to be great for any deck, GX decks that's running evolutions. Finally a time for them to shine and kind of give trouble to these awesome upcoming tag teams, right? That balance out the game. That's important. Balance is super important for games, and I'm glad they're putting in that effort. We'll have to see what other cards are going to be coming up in Cosmic Eclipse with reference to that. Okay, Piplup, Bubble Hold, a beautiful card here. I just love this. This is so pretty, so cute. Bubble Hold, 80 damage, 60 HP. 3 water energies. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. Probably not the reason we're going to be playing this card for, but the art is really cool. Wishy Washy, another card here with Lana. Beautiful, beautiful card. 180 basic Pokemon. That's pretty good. It's not even a GX. It's not even a GX. It's just a basic Pokemon with 180 HP. Holy gosh. Scatter. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, flip a coin. If Tails, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So, at the end of your opponent's turn, so after he attacks you potentially, if you get attacked, you flip a coin, and if you land Tails, this Pokemon goes back into your deck. That's the disadvantage. That's why it's so beefy. So this is the Swarm version of Wishy Washy. So if you scatter, you turn into all the small fishes, and you go back in the deck, and you lose the 3 energies that you attach with it. Can be kind of painful. 3 retreat costs. No resistances and weakness to lightning, but I can still see this card getting a decent amount of play. It's still pretty cool to have it, maybe just as like a tank, soak up some damage, go back into the deck, and then you play your next card. Anyway, Mimikyu here with Acerola, a really cool card, 70 HP, Impersonation, discard a supporter card from your hand. If you do, use the effect of that card as the effect of this card, so you can save yourself a supporter turn basically and get 2 supporter cards out in 1 turn. Pretty cool. So you could do your supporter card that you wanted, and then you could probably like play a Cynthia by discarding the Cynthia from your hand, and then get a new hand by the end of your turn. So I see a lot of combinations being played there. I see this being run in like every deck now, just because it's a standard energy, right? I definitely am going to run this card. It's beautiful. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Mischievous Hands. Choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on each of them. Okay, a little bit of a splash, a little bit of bench damage, a little bit of whatever you need there, but the first ability is awesome. Stoutland, a Stage 2 150 ability. Arf Arf Bark. How cute is that name? Arf Arf Bark. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during this turn, you may discard energy from your opponent's active. So Crushing Hammer mixed in here. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and knocked out by damage from your opponent's Pokemon, you may discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So you're looking at discard energies with this Pokemon. It's Stage 2, so I don't know how worth it is to get this out there when I could just play Crushing Hammer and hope I get a hedge. But yeah, it's in there. Pretty cool. Arf Arf Bark does 1 Arf at the evolution and 1 Arf when he gets knocked out. That's the double Arf. So Overrun, for 3 standard energies, it does 110 damage. This Pokemon does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Not the greatest, but also not the worst. So, that is a sneak preview at the Cosmic Eclipse. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to go back and search for the Lily's Full Force card and let you guys know if I find that, and I will throw this at the end of this video. But hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the ideas I put in here as to how these decks are going to be built around these new GX cards. I hope you share some of my opinions about how OP these cards are going to be. Let me know what you think of these comments. Can't wait to hear your guys' opinions on these. I think some of these cards are really cool. Let me know which artworks you like and what you're excited to play. So, hope you had fun watching this video. Like and subscribe for more great Pokemon TCGO content. Please share the link with channel link with any of your friends, family. We need all the support we can get so we can give you more fun and exciting videos like this. This is your favorite Dr. Professor Oak signing off. Alright, just as a short addition to the previous video covering Cosmic Eclipse, we are going to take a look at the Altered Genesis set that's about to be revealed. Let's see. Set will release in Japan on September 5th, so we should be getting some of the cards soon. I don't want to cover this whole set in detail like I did with those Cosmic Eclipse cards, but I do want to look at a few of the cards here, one of them being this Sun Flora. So, the ability here is really interesting. The Sun Power, during your next turn, ignore all energy and attack costs of your grass and fire Pokemon in play. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I can see that being used somehow, okay? Just wanted to put that out there. Solar Beam, 80 damage. Not something awesome, but there are a few cards here that caught my eye. I wanted to show you. There's another Buzzwole in here too. Like there's a fighting Buzzwole right now, but there's one more of those guys in here. I like this Alolan Vulpix too. I can see him being played in some of these decks. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, he takes no damage from attack, so he can't get bench damaged. Pretty cool. If you're playing into something like a Pikarom or something that can splash damage onto your bench. Or Choreo is another one. The ability Dedicated Dance is why we're going to be playing this card mostly. You guys can take a look at the other things here, right here. I'll show you the card real quick. Or Choreo. So, Dedicated Dance. Once before you turn, before you attack, if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. Pretty good ability, but then, like, how many Pokemon are you going to get knocked out in, like, a Tag Team GX? GX meta, not too many. There is a Flygon in here, and it's pretty cool. I'm glad they threw Flygon in here. And the ability is cool, the Sandstorm Protection. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, any damage done to your Pokemon from your opponent's attacks is reduced by 30. So I can see this being played in like a one-off, just on the bench. Since it's like not for only Dragon Pokemon, it's for any Pokemon. Other attacks are right here. This is on PokeBeach.com, guys, so you can find this list on there and go ahead and read some of these for yourself, whichever ones you find more interesting. There's another Alolan Ninetales here, but I think the one with GX Barrier is going to take prominence. Of course, we are getting the Arceus of the Elga Palkia in here, which is pretty darn cool. I can't wait to play this card. Naganadel Guzzlord is another one that we're getting early. There's another Drampa. I know there's one Drampa already out there. We're getting another Ultra Necrozma. That's non-GX. We're getting the Megalop Bunny Jigglypuff. Not that excited about that card, as I already said in the previous video. Oh, Tag Whistle. Oh yeah, this card is gonna definitely be seeing some play. It's gonna be super useful. And it's definitely going to be a card that people will want to get their hands on. So search your deck for up to 2 tag team cards and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you can play as many item cards as you like during your deck. That's generic stuff. But yeah, 2 tag team cards, right? What does that mean? Does that mean tag team Pokemon? Does that mean tag team Pokemon and supporters? Does that mean tag team supporters? We don't know. But if it means a tag team Pokemon and a supporter, then I can definitely see it being really, really strong with the new tag team supporters that are coming up in conjunction with our already existing, and the new tag team Pokemon that we have in the game. Here's another unidentified fossil reprint. Island Challenge Amulet. This one's pretty interesting too. So a Poke Tool. Attach a Pokemon tool to one of your Pokemon. The max HP of your Pokemon GX or EX is reduced by 100. But if the Pokemon is knocked out, then you can take one less. The opponent takes one less prize card. So essentially, your tag team GX now becomes a GX Pokemon by losing not only HP, but also being worth one less prize card. But they can still do their same damage. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I can see that getting some play. Beastite Beastite is definitely a card that's also going to see some play for Ultra Beast. The attacks of Ultra Beast attached to this card do 10 more damage for each prize card you've taken to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that could stack all the way up to 50. It depends. 10 damage is a little lackluster, but I think it's good. If it were 20, it might have become overpowered. So yeah, that's another card there. Guzman Hala. Yeah, the artworks on these guys are just copy paste some Photoshop work there, which is really sad, but the cards are pretty cool. Guzman Hala, search your deck for a stadium card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. When you play this card, you may discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon tool or a special energy card, reveal them and put them into your hand. That's one of the interesting ones. We've already done Cynthia Caitlin. Malolana is one of the ones. Lana is one of the ones we haven't done. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So switch. When you play this card, you may discard 2 cards from your hand, and if you do, heal 120 damage from the new active Pokemon. I wish it would have given you a choice, or healed the bench, which I think would have been better, but you can do it for the active in case that's the one that's damaged. Red and blue, we already took a look at this for the GX evolution and energy attached. Chaotic Swell is interesting too. I think it's a stadium card that basically discards stadium cards, and then when you try to play on other stadium cards on top of it, it discards that. So you get a 1 for 2 on the stadium cards. Cherish Ball reprint. I think I like the new Cherish Ball more. I think I'm gonna grab these. Pretty cool. Adventure Bag reprint. I like the original Adventure Bag. Pokecom reprint. I definitely like this one for sure. And it looks like we got an Elms reprint, which I'm not too hot about. I like the full art Elm and the original Elms card. So yeah, those are some of the cards in the upcoming expansion before the large set release of Cosmic Expansion. You can check these cards out on Pokebeach.com. Really cool, and they will be added in. This is Alter Genesis, by the way. I forgot the name while I was recording the Cosmic Eclipse set video, but these will be added into the Cosmic Eclipse as the overarching set for this for these new releases. So that's pretty cool. I could not find the Lily's Full Force, so we're gonna have to wait to see what that card does, and it's gonna be used in conjecture with that new Solgaleo Lunala GX tag team. So yeah, hope you guys like this. Keep watching for more videos. Like and subscribe, and have fun playing these new sets.